going from your last movie to landing this is almost, it's like winning the lottery. It's amazing that you got the keys to the Ferrari. How did it happen? Was it they came to you? Was it that you pitched them an idea?
Winning the lottery is, they just give you the money, whereas this, they give you a job, and they give you, 2.5 years of work that was hard work, but good, honest work, and something that I love doing, and I cherish this experience that I just had so much. But to answer your question, I got a call from Frank Marshall, who I know you've probably met before, and that already was a crazy phone call to get. And he said that we have this dinosaur movie that we want to make, and are you interested in talking to Steven about it? And I asked him, what is it about? And he told me the plot and what they were working with at the moment. And then I asked again, no, what is it about? Because I care about these movies, and not just Jurassic Park, but about all of the Amblin movies. And I think when you care about something the way that we do, you want to protect it. And you want to make sure that if a movie is going to get made, if we're going to have the audacity, the arrogance to make another Jurassic Park movie, we better know why. And so when I came in to talk to Steven about it, that was my question of how can we do something that deserves to be called Jurassic Park in the first place, that can look itself in the mirror and call itself that and not be just ashamed and embarrassed. And so we talked about that for a while. We talked about a new set of themes that we could apply to this, and a way that we could not just move the narrative into the future, but not just make another movie about people running away from dinosaurs that are trying to eat them, about man messing with nature, and that being a horrible mistake. And we found in Steven's ideas some great new themes. And Steven's ideas were, I thought, pretty great. Let's have a park that's fully functional and open and working again. Let's have a guy who is trying to train raptors and communicate with these vicious predators. And let's have a genetically modified dinosaur that sets, it breaks free and tries to kill everybody. And buried in that are interesting themes of the need for profit, and how that need is dehumanizing and will make us forget some of our ethics and our values about the way we treat animals on the planet today, and the very fact that we will repeat our mistakes if there's money on the table, and we've seen that happen again and again. Certainly politically and in our government, and definitely with movies and with sequels. And those were all things that were interesting. That was a long answer.
Yeah, but something it's accurate. I also think that the story you guys came up with couldn't have been told any sooner, because it uses the real time from the last movie. It incorporates a lot of cool stuff. So you're telling me that Steven Spielberg knows what he's doing?
That's what I'm telling you.
How long was your first cut compared to what people are seeing?
My first cut was 2 hours and 10 minutes, and the movie right now is 2 hours. I guess without the credit, I think it's 1:57 and then credits. So there's no 3-hour cut of Jurassic World. I mean, this is the script that we wrote. There's one deleted scene and a couple deleted moments, traveling from here to there kind of things. But it was always very, very much what you see, and I'm in the rare position for somebody not just of my level of experience, but of a filmmaker at all, of being able to release what I consider my director's cut all around the world. A movie that I am proud of, and that I stand by in its failure, and will take full responsibility for if people don't like it. If people do like it, I point you to all of the people who made this movie. But I think for me the top priority was that I was able to make something that I could call my own, and I can do that.
I think people are really going to like this movie. I think I really believe you really nailed it. It's
Thanks.
Great. No bullshit. Real good. What I also like is that there is obviously this is a franchise that Universal wants to repeat. It wants to make a sequel to, even if, it's just common, it's a huge juggernaut of a franchise for the studio. What I like about this movie is that it plants the seed for sequels, but it doesn't do it in a screaming way. It's very it's there. How much was that you? How much was that Steven? The idea, I don't want to be revealing of what it is.
No, actually, a lot of that was me. I mean, I felt it was part of my job, and and that idea that we were going to build a foundation for something that could grow and evolve and change. That was a very early conversation we had. He told me, I want to make several of these movies, and I'd like to really bring this back and have this be as viable a franchise as he always felt it deserved to be. And so it was part of the assignment. And what I wanted to do was find a way to make a standalone movie, but introduce more themes and ideas that could be expanded upon in later films. We do have a plot point that allows, but that to me is kind of the softest of the things that we do. Of all the seeds that we plant, that's the least effective. To me, that's more of a plot thing, and I think we plant some larger ideas that could send us into. Literally, I changed the title for a reason. It's not always going to be about a Jurassic Park. I think that there is a Jurassic World that exists here, and we live in a planet right now that we share with all kinds of animals, and we treat them in different ways, and we have different kinds of relationships with them. I think there can be a world in which we have that kind of relationship with dinosaurs.
This movie is going to make at least $5 at the box office. And at least. In fact, I'm going to venture to say it's going to make a dinosaur amount of money. How much you just spent, and you mentioned you spent over 2 years. This is a lot of people probably don't realize the extent of what a director, this is a huge undertaking. Are you interested, once this thing, once Universal greenlights another movie, are you interested in doing another, or are you sort of like, wow, I need a year to recoup?
It's not out of exhaustion, and it's not out of any lack of love for this franchise or the process I just went through. I had an incredible time, and almost too good, almost too special. I couldn't have had a better experience making a movie than I just did. I agreed with Steven long ago, early on in this process, that I wanted to focus on making the best dinosaur movie I possibly could, and make one. And even though we've worked to establish new themes, I think my job moving forward creatively will be to help this thing expand. But I just have an opinion about this franchise, and I feel very strongly about this. I think it is very easy for this franchise to have diminishing returns creatively, and you could argue that it's happened once before. I think what's important, it's a little bit more to me like the Mission Impossible franchise, where that's something that could get repetitive, but it hasn't. It's stayed fresh and vital because they brought in new directors every time to put their own stamp on it. And it's just my opinion that this is one of those franchises that will benefit from that. But I'm going to stick around, and I'm going to still be part of it in one way or another.
Totally. I was also going to say that after all the other studios and studio heads and filmmakers and everyone sees this movie, you're going to be what I call offered a number of other projects.
The offered? Is
yes.
that the word?
I'm just going to throw that out there. I have to ask, have you been having meetings? Have you been thinking about scripts, or do you need to take a vacation?
No, I think I'm going to make a movie on my vacation. I've already set up the movies that I want to do next, and neither of them have are big visual effects movies. I'm going to do a movie called Book of Henry that we're going to do in the fall. That's just an incredible screenplay. It's a story that I love, and yet also it doesn't really fit into a particular genre, and it has many different tones running simultaneously, and that's something that you can say I think for both of my films so far. So there's a consistency there, and a movie called Intelligent Life that is kind of a new Amblin movie, and it's something that I'm doing with Steven and with Frank, and that's a priority of mine. I think that there is a gap in the marketplace for what an Amblin movie is for that kind of storytelling, and I know, because I know many of them, there are a lot of filmmakers and screenwriters who want to tell those kinds of stories and would love an outlet for it. And I think a lot of studios have been, wanting to, we want to make an Amblin movie, and yet no one really is entirely sure what that means or how to do it. But I know a lot of creative people know what it means, people who are our age
Sure.
and grew up during that time. So one of my priorities is to help facilitate that and try and make those kinds of movies again, because I think there's a hunger for it.
I would not object to more movies having an Amblin logo on them. Mm-hmm. Just throwing that out there.
That's the plan, and we put a new Amblin logo on this movie for a reason.
Yeah. Before I run out of time with you, because it's going to happen, I've been playing a game on the site called Save or Kill.
Okay.
I would like to play with you. One of these things can be saved. One of these is erased from existence forever.
Okay.
What do you save? It would be great if you say the one you want to save.
Okay.
hypothetically, the first one being Star Wars or Star Trek.
Oh, we'll want to save Star Wars. Now, they never existed?
Yeah.
They're erased from existence forever?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, that...
Yeah, I've had people that give these extended reasons, like analyzing the pros and the cons, and some people are just very decisive, and they just cut through.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Star Wars kid. I mean, and Star Trek is kind of a generation a bit earlier than mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. By the way, this is just a way of finding out what you like.
And this also should, if I decide to erase something from existence, it is not any insult to the creators of that thing. That's important to me.
Absolutely.
Say that.
Listen, I love Star Trek and I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would say if I was asked that question.
You wouldn't.
I would lose my mind.
Okay.
Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad for me. Yeah.
So that's the one you save.
That's the one I save. Yeah.
Okay. The Wire or Mad Men?
Mad Men. Believe it or not.
No, I think both are phenomenal.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
In Sync or the Backstreet Boys?
Oh, dude. I don't. God, phone a friend, man. Yeah, I guess. Well, NSYNC, Timberlake's good. So I think NSYNC you want to save so we can have, and I think all those guys I'm sure are very talented, but Timberlake's pretty good.
Zelda or Mario?
Mario. I was much more a Mario kid. Yeah.
Han Solo or Indiana Jones?
Bro. I guess I'd have to say Indiana Jones because without him, none of those movies exist. Where theoretically you could still have Luke Skywalker's story without Han Solo, but man, it wouldn't be as good, would it?
Again, that's a no-win battle.
That's a no-win battle.
It's no-win.
I had a hard time answering. I guess that's my Star Trek, Star Wars question. I don't know that one.
The Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Oh, the Beatles for me.
Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Oh, I'm going to say Harry Potter actually.
Iron Man or Captain America?
That is a tough one. I guess Iron Man, but I think what they've been doing with Captain America is really cool.
Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh man, neither. I just couldn't. I just have. Yeah, I got no opinion there.
This one's brutal. I mean, just brutal. Scorsese or Spielberg? And by the way, I know that you have the personal relationship.
Yeah, I got to go home team on this one, man. I do. But
for most people, though, it's like they just don't know how.
Yeah, you don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
Well, but it's what Steven Spielberg. To me, what Steven Spielberg has done is shown a level of variety in what he's been able to accomplish that I think is just unparalleled. I mean, to have directed both Catch Me If You Can and Schindler's List and Empire of the Sun and also E.T. and Raiders and Jurassic Park and Jaws. It's a shocker.
He's next level.
Yeah,
he's been
it's
blessed by
level.
something insane.
It could never be done again. And having worked closely with him now, and I can't believe I get to say that, but it's true. And having genuinely collaborated with him on something that is a product of both of our instincts. What I recognize the most about him is that he has an ability to become the audience and not just be the filmmaker all the time. He can turn around and sit in the seat and know what we want to see at any given moment, and most importantly, what we want to be feeling at any given moment. And that is a gift that he has beyond anyone who's ever played the game, and it's incredible.
Yeah, no, he's a genius. Only a few left.
Yeah.
This one's also a little tough. DC or Marvel?
When I was, I wasn't really a comic book kid, and that's why you'll probably never see me do a comic book movie because I'm unqualified.
Well, JJ had never seen Star Trek, and he delivered a great movie.
He did make a great movie. When I was a kid, I loved Superman and Hulk, so
That's
I had a
DC and
DC
Marvel.
and Marvel.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't really have a.
I'll let you go. I'll give you the get out of jail.
Okay.
Back to the Future or Ghostbusters?
Back to the Future. I love Ghostbusters, but Back to the Future is the best movie I ever saw.
Yeah, Back to the Future's first one's amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. By the way, how excited are you to see Zemeckis back in live action?
Yeah, and I loved the last one, and this one. I mean, seeing him in 3D is actually what I'm excited about.
Sopranos or Walking Dead?
Ooh. I'm actually not. I don't know Walking Dead that well. I watched The Sopranos. I haven't seen a lot of Walking Dead, so I have to say Sopranos.
Rowdy Roddy Piper or Andre the Giant?
Andre the Giant's just got heart, man. He's got heart.
But without Roddy, there's no fight scene in They Live.
There's no They Live. There's no I'm all out of bubblegum. It's really tough. I mean, these are tough choices.
Okay, this is my last, and this is the saber till's done. What can fans look forward to on the Jurassic World Blu-ray?
Oh, there's good stuff on the Jurassic World Blu-ray. It's great. There's cool deleted scenes, but we went pretty deep into ILM's process on this movie, on what we did with the animatronics, on it really is. It's very in depth, and they did a pretty awesome job. And you have Steven on there. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do a director's commentary yet, just because we did so many things. You hear from me in so many ways on that Blu-ray. We have a thing where you can press a button, I'll just pop up at any moment and just talk to you. So I feel like you might have enough of me on that Blu-ray that I may not even need to do a commentary, but it's pretty rich. It's pretty good. And you get to see Bryce Dallas Howard smear shit all over her face.
Well, I was going to say, that's what I heard is the big scene.
That's the scene,
it was her and Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell people why it was cut, or what it was?
It was cut for tone. At that moment in the movie, it's right when we need to be keeping tension high, and you have these two characters who are looking for two other characters, and you need to believe that they understand they're in tremendous peril, and for them to stop and have a scene that was funny and did work as a standalone scene after they had a scene that was pretty emotional. Like these movies are a tonal juggling act. And that was the one thing that had to go in order to maintain a consistent, balanced tone.
I want to thank you so much for your time, and seriously, congratulations on hitting the ball fucking great.
Thanks, man.
Let me